Actually, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jason Stoddard from Schiit. You probably have watched one of my videos, or I don't know, maybe you haven't, and that's probably a better thing. I'm here with Tyler Noble, also of Schiit. He is what we lovingly call a director of miscellaneous.
Yes. Yes. I do all the things that nobody else wants to do.
Yeah, one of the guys on Headfine had a better, or he said he was in the Navy, and he said it's what the shitty little jobs officer.
Yes. Yes.
But you do big jobs.
I do big jobs as well. Yeah, but they're all equally shitty. So I mean.
Well, I mean, by definition.
By definition, literally. Yeah.
So we're here to talk about a couple of things. One is actually Texas, a facility in Texas, which Tyler's been very heavily involved in. So I said, hey, dude, I don't want to do this myself again. So you're elected.
Yeah, happy to talk about it. So it has been no secret that we had a planned move to Texas. A lot of this was sparked by the pandemic and the lockdowns in California. This has affected everyone in a lot of different ways, but in particular, we wanted to make sure that we could guarantee our business continue and we continue providing product to our customers. One of those ways we could do that is by establishing another production location outside of the state that, depending on how states want to treat certain pandemics, we could continue to produce and to be honest, provide for all of the employees here at Schiit, which was one of our biggest concerns.
And actually, one of the examples of how states have treated things differently. For example, a lot of states have just said, hey, internet e-commerce companies, or they use that horrible term, digital native companies, are exempt from any closure orders because we usually operate on a very clean, sanitary basis. We can space out the times people come in. We can minimize contact. The stuff we ship is all sanitized before it's sent. So they're kind of like, well, you can continue to send things, but California is a little more nebulous. Texas is a little more defined. And we actually opened a small office in Utah at the start of all this to see, what.
Yeah, that was our,
just in case.
That was our definite emergency plan in case everything went, completely to hell. Luckily, we didn't have to do that. We stayed open under California's when they brought out their list of what certain businesses could remain open. We fell under a couple different categories, luckily. And that was the point. We kind of luckily fit in to these categories, and we wanted to guarantee and make sure that wasn't the case again. So that was the real impetus for looking to other places. We landed on Texas because it made sense business-wise. It's a centralized location. They're relatively friendly in a business sense, and also we could expand in a way that gave us a lot more flexibility for the future, specifically for the type of units that we will be moving there and the production that we will be moving there.
Yeah, and I think it's probably important to let everyone know. I mean, we're not closing California.
No, not at all. No, California is going to stay.
And nobody is losing their job in California.
No, that was actually the first discussion we had at Schiit when we decided we wanted to do this. The first thing we wanted to do is make sure that every Schiit employee stayed employed no matter what. We wanted to give people opportunities to, see if they wanted to go there or move around. But if everyone wanted to stay in California, everyone could stay in California. We're purposely moving around and changing where things are produced specifically to keep people in California and keep their jobs here. This is not, we're not transferring over to Texas. We're not moving the company. We are just expanding into another area. And
and it really does make sense. I think Texas is our number 2 or number 3 state in terms of sales.
Yeah, I mean it's quite a bit of money goes through there. Generally speaking, it's the big coastal area. New York and California are definitely 2 of the largest, but Texas is definitely up there.
And honestly, I mean, I like the area. My wife and I toured it and kind of said this place kind of feels right. It's kind of like Santa Clarita. Santa Clarita is not what you would actually expect. an audio company to be in, you'd expect us to be in L.A. or Orange County, maybe Irvine or something like that, or up in NorCal, up in Silicon Valley or something. But we settled on Santa Clarita. Just number one, we've been here a while. Number two, it's got pretty good infrastructure, and we like it here. The people are, nice and easy to work with. Corpus Christi is a lot the same way. It's, very different weather, very different environment. And we've been telling people, it's like, hey, if you're interested in going there, you may want to spend a little time there.
You better like humidity.
Yeah, I hope you like humidity for a good 4 or 5 months out of the year. And but it's a neat little town. It's kind of like Texas plus surfing, which is, yeah, I know. There's some heads.
It definitely has a beach vibe, but everyone there we've met has been friendly. If you have to expand to an area, that's a headache that you have to go through no matter what. That's never an easy process. At every step of this transition, it has been made easier by the people there and the people that we've met. And,
well, you could just tell people we love natural disasters and we want to collect them all because we only have earthquakes.
That's
so
true.
Now we could have earthquakes. We could have hurricanes.
Hurricanes, yeah.
If we open up something in the Midwest, then we get tornadoes.
Or blizzards, that could happen.
Blizzards, yeah. So, volcanoes are a little more difficult.
On our bingo sheet, we're trying to fill that out.
Yeah. But, yeah, honestly, it's funny. There's some very large electronics companies that have been in Corpus forever, including TT Resistors, which is... Actually, I think they're going to be moving to Dallas, but they've been in there since 1970. So it doesn't seem like it's a real big problem. It seems like they're doing one of those corporate, conglomerations where it's like, hey, we're going to put everything in Dallas.
They're consolidating.
Sounds like, yeah.
And Dallas makes a lot of sense because there is a lot of tech companies coming out of Dallas. We also just wanted to pick a place that was a little more familiar, like Santa Clarita, where we're located now, and Corpus, as Jason said, really does have that same feeling. And we like being in an area that's a little more, easygoing. I mean, it's double the size of the city that we're currently in, so it's 500,000 people, so it's not a small city, but it's definitely a lot more less of a major metropolis, and
it's a couple hours from San Antonio.
Yeah, and it's close enough to anything that we could.
It's like 3 from Austin. I'm sure Tyler's gonna be bugging me for let's set up a shitter in Austin.
That would be nice,
guaranteed. And I know someone actually asked her, are you personally moving? Lisa and I, my wife and I, yes, we have purchased a house in Corpus Christi. It is another house. Our plan is to actually share our time between California and Texas. My job is such that I guess you might think, hey, I can do it all virtually, but I actually do prefer to go into the office for some things. And honestly, just to be real frank, I don't want to have an AP at home and an AP at the office because those things they're
rather expensive.
Yeah. So I'll be in California. I'll be in Texas. Mm-hmm. I'll be enjoying both. We're not going to get political about differences between states. It's just if you like one, then you should probably stay there.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think actually it'll benefit us a lot having a foot in either state. I think that's going to be a benefit rather than a problem. So I think that probably pretty much closes. Anything else you want to talk about?
That's what we're going to make there.
Oh, to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, our plan is moving a lot of the, what we call the small units over to the Texas facility. So these are your Magnies, your Modis, your Lokis, things along those lines.
Yeah, Hell and Fulla.
Yeah, Hell Fulla.
I believe the current plan is move Magni and Modi and then see how the rest of it goes. Yeah. It'll probably be in order of popularity, Manny and Loki, and
and it's also just
down the line,
and it's going to depend on who goes there, how long training takes, how long setup takes. There's still construction process. I mean, this is still an ongoing process that it's still a bit further out, but it's coming together very quickly and has come together very quickly.
Yeah. We're going to be there probably early December. Right?
Yeah, we'll be there in early December, and then we'll be there again in January. So we've been going essentially monthly.
Yeah.
really, to Corpus.
And the house we bought is done in February. So we'll start sharing time around that time. Lisa's like totally excited about the sea turtles and stuff. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited about actually having
having
a building we own and being able to expand if we feel like it.
Yeah.
So
I gotta go
totally
see
different from California.
I gotta go see the Selena Memorial. I haven't
Yeah,
done
we do
that.
need to do that too.
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
No, it's neat, and they have what five breweries, I believe.
Yeah, and they're
the
good.
important stuff.
They're good.
Yeah. So.
Half the products that Schiit makes has come out of a brewery, so I mean.
Yeah, you can thank Tyler for hell. and
that was collaborative. That was
afternoon at Pocock Brewing. Yeah.
Yes, that's definitely a after work. That's a work meeting.
So if you love hell, thank him. If you hate hell,
blame me.
I'll give you his email.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
No, sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that based on what I can see here,
yeah,
that looks pretty good for Texas. I imagine there'll be more information coming out shortly on timelines and what exactly is going on. But thus far, Texas is looking good. It's gonna actually really help the company and allow us to. Yeah, it's just gonna help. It's gonna be a nice boon to the company.
Yeah, it's actually our operations manager Alex couldn't be here today, but he said, "Yeah, this actually feels like the next logical step." He said, "This is the first time I've been excited about something for a long time." Mm-hmm. He's been with us since 2012, so he's seen. He had a very, very brief moment seeing the end of the garage and and actually opened up what we lovingly refer to as the shithole, which is really like a block that way. Mm-hmm. And thank God we are not there anymore.
Yeah,
that we are actually in a real industrial center.
That was the first time I ever was introduced to Schiit, was walking into that place.
Oh,
I remember
it was
place.
special.
Yeah, that was an interesting.
So, no, it's a different time.
Oh, it's very different.
But AKM, we should actually talk about AKM.
Yeah, that's probably important.
Yeah, we've actually had a few questions about AKM. I think I made a statement on HeadFi. But for those of you who don't know, here's what happened. AKM is the manufacturer of some of our D-Day converter chips that we actually use. Those are used in Modius, Full of Hell, and actually we have a card that goes into Jotunheim and other units. So it's a modular card. So essentially our less expensive DAC products typically use AKM. We started with AKM a long time ago. Mike liked the way they sounded, so they were in the original Bifrost, and we've kind of gone forward with them. AKM's factory, though, here we go, yeah. On Tuesday, October 20th, a massive fire started at the AKM semiconductor factory in Nobuoka City, Japan, and it lasted 3 days. Let me translate for you. It basically burned to the ground. Their semiconductor factory is not a typical semiconductor factory. You can't just move it somewhere else. They are a mixed signal semiconductor manufacturer. There are not a lot of mixed signal semiconductor manufacturers or fabs in the world. So right now, what we know a little bit more than when I made my statement. And here's what we know. AKM is going to be offline as far as producing any kind of DACs, analog to digital converters, and SPDIF receivers for an unspecified amount of time. They believe up to 1 year. They have said that they will actually be moving some production outside of Japan and hope to get it in less than a year. That's a we'll see. We don't know anything. The more important thing is when I first made my statement, I thought we had 6 months of supply of AKM. We actually have 12 months at current sales rates. Now, as people search for AKM, and if they decide they want AKM and they want an AKM DAC, that could change fairly rapidly. What if our sales double or triple? We don't know. We've just found out as of yesterday that we will be getting some more AKM supply from the factory. Apparently, they quarantined some parts, made sure they're good, and now they're shipping some of them to customers. They have not actually updated us on a timeline. We don't know when they're going to be back online. So, to put in horrible corp speak, we will be ensuring that we can, continue to supply our popular low-cost DAC products one way or another, which means
Modi will not be interrupted.
Yeah. First thing, we're going to cross our fingers, hope AKM comes back online within a year and sales don't double or whatever. Number two...
Or sales can double and AKM come back. That'd be
I'm good with that,
yeah,
too.
that would be lovely.
Yeah. Number two, we're going to be, of course, exploring other options, which we already have explored other options. We've already started alternate designs. We have plan Bs. This is where the monoculture aspect comes in. Because if you actually look at DACs, there's basically two guys doing a great job. There's AKM and there's ESS. Yeah, okay, there's Cirrus and there's TI and Analog Devices. Cirrus is very limited. TI and Analog Devices products haven't been updated since the Stone Age. So there's really two guys. Now with AKM offline, there's one guy. Now, what if the majority of audiophile DACs end up as ESS? Is that a problem? We don't like that, but
yeah, I mean
philosophically,
there's an issue when you have any sort of monoculture where you need some form of competition and or foil in order to grow or to kind of see where you're missing pieces. The idea is that the more people you have doing different styles of the same thing, you're going to highlight problems in others. You're going to create new ways of doing things. There's an ingenuity involved in that because you have a direct competitor. The idea of something tending towards a monopoly of an entire system, whether it's naturally that way or sort of artificially, like your competition burns to the ground. Yeah. There's a frightening aspect in that there's only one person you can go to, and that they uniquely control your access to new and interesting products. And great for ESS to be honest, like lucky for them. I hope and there's a lot of even economic things that come into whether or not they can keep up with supply, whether or not all these designs come to fruition in a certain amount of time. If AKM can come back as strong or stronger or at all. I mean, who knows? This is maybe a conversation we were having, but I imagine AKM, if they're going to start up making these things again, they're going to start with their most costly things that they can make.
Or what they can make. We don't know.
Or what they can make.
We don't know.
So you don't know if our a lot of the decks that are being made for auto are at the bottom of their list for production.
Well, here's a reality check. What if they say, "Hey, we can make the ADC you use in Hella and Fulla, but we can't make the DAC."
There you go. Yeah.
Or vice versa. Do you at that point do you redesign?
Yeah.
I don't have that answer, but what really concerns me is like you end up with one manufacturer, really kind of in control of the low, the lower end of our DAC line, at least. I mean, because the true multi-bit line is not affected by this in any way, shape, or form. Very easy to use a different SPDIF receiver, and we're good on that. But the $99 products, the $199 products, those, we were leaning on AKM, and now it's started me and Mike actually, asking the question of like, were we leaning on them too much?
Yeah, it's almost we kind of created a monoculture in a way too, where we even ourselves became very used to, maybe not necessarily complacent, because we were exploring how and what to do with those and finding out new ways to utilize those products and get a lot of interesting results out of them, a lot of really productive and good results.
I really like the way Modius came out.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so I mean, there's there's good in that, but yeah, I mean, we've become reliant upon, or a good chunk of our products have become reliant upon a single producer that has thus disappeared. So we're actually lucky as a company to have people like you and Mike and Ivana and Dave, because these are people
more Mike, Ivana, and Dave on that.
Well,
but,
no, true, no, yeah,
yeah,
for the digital side, of course, but we have people that are extraordinarily talented and brilliant designers that we have the flexibility to make adjustments like this and actually.
Tyler's being a little politically correct here. Mike's. Okay, I'll just go ahead and say it. Mike's reaction to this whole thing was like, "Why are we so dependent on them? Design everything out. Do our own thing.
That is
let's make sure it's all general purpose stuff, and then we never have to deal with anyone ever again." And I'm like, "That's great. That's not a 6 to 12 month project."
Correct. Yes, that's not something on a
Plus,
timeline we can.
Anyone who really knows this, like, sometimes things don't happen for a long time, like the gadget. So don't get too excited.
I could name you half a dozen products.
But Mike's is like, nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. I'm like, hey, let's have a plan B. And you can start your nuking thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. But let's have a plan B, so in case we have to negotiate with the alien queen.
And to be honest, when you have sort of a clearing fire, it can be I mean, really the word catharsis. There can be a cleansing by fire here, where something terrible happens, but it leaves open the opportunity for really interesting things to come out of that.
It actually is, because looking into the other some of the other options, and I'm not going to be saying where we're going because I don't know if we exactly know yet. There are actually some really interesting opportunities with the other DAC manufacturers. Mm-hmm. So we'll see where it goes. Who knows? I mean, maybe the Modi 3 B or whatever the heck it is, might actually be better.
Yeah. We could like it better. We could like it how it sounds. It could perform better. I mean, the point is that we were making extraordinarily good products, and we were very familiar with the parts we were using. Now we have an opportunity to explore. We have a time frame where we can explore other options and see what we can actually produce and how we can beat ourselves. The cool thing about this company is that we're never afraid to like kill our darlings. Like, we have no problem doing that. We kind of eat our lunch all the time. Like, we constantly.
If we can do better.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Like, generally, we can find new ways. Well, now we have a real big motivation to do just that. So, I think a lot of interesting things are going to come out of it. I mean, it's something to be worried about. Yes, it has affected a lot of our approaches. It's we've had to put off some things because this has become a serious thing that we need to address. But I think we're going to come out better.
Yeah, I'll actually go ahead and apologize to everyone in advance. I mean, if things get pushed out a bit, it's exactly because of this. Because literally all development stopped to make sure that we have a plan B or plan B and C. At this point in time. So,
it's the only way we can make claims like Modi and Modius won't be interrupted. It's because we won't allow that.
And because
happen.
Boards are already out for prototype. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Someone asked about the timeline. That's like redesigning. It could take a couple weeks or a month. Then you actually usually have to wait to have the board house assemble them because we can't assemble them ourselves. A couple more weeks for that. Then we see how bad we screwed up, and then it's a question of how many revs
iterations
after that.
Of that we need.
Maybe we hit it first on, almost never. Let's face it. It may need 1 rev or 2 revs or 3 revs, and then, within 4 to 6 months, we will certainly have Plan Bs or Plan Cs.
Yeah, like I said,
I'm hoping is just AKM comes back online and we don't have to deal with it ever.
Yeah, I mean that would be ideal, but we can't.
We can't say
they again are being.
We can't go. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, please.
And to be honest, they're also being very cagey and not as. There's no definite answers coming out of.
They may not know.
They don't know. I mean, I'm almost certain they don't know.
They may not.
But no, there's a.
But
yeah. Yeah.
Actually, someone's asking, did we hear from the manufacturer, the distributor? yes, we're in contact with them. It's nebulous. What we heard as of yesterday is that, yeah, there will be some more supply from parts that were finished in the factory, and they're requalifying to make sure that, the Cajun-style smoke flavor, sorry to be flippant, this is a tragedy.
It really is.
Doesn't actually affect them. We don't know how much, and there's still no word on when things may come back online, which is really what's most important for us. We're lucky in that Schiit is run very conservative and paranoid. We buy a lot of parts, so we're sitting on a lot of stuff.
That was the point I wanted to get to just a minute ago. We're actually, I can't remember if I stated this before, if it was before we started recording, but Schiit's in a unique position where we're probably better off than a lot of other manufacturers in that the way, we have a good supply to where we have the time and ability to react, and we can do things like, prepare and have plan Bs and Cs in order to...
And that's because our planning is great, right? Not because we're paranoid and we just buy everything in sight.
It is
just in case.
Yes, of course. It's because we always plan for things like this. No, it's always because... we run our business in a certain way that we kind of accidentally have contingency plans for these because we make sure that.
How much metal do we have for some products? We're not talking about anyway.
We've had metal for things that are still to come out, and we've had it for half a year. I mean, there's
or we have metal for years for
or that
products that we probably forgot we ordered, so we ordered again and again, or something.
And there's boxes in a pallet that's behind something that we forgot about.
But we're fixing all that because we're moving to Texas, or we're actually opening a Texas facility, so
we're going to have to clear out some of the...
No, we do need to manage parts into facilities. So we've been...
That's going to be my favorite part about moving to Texas, is we have to become more organized no matter what. It's required in order for us to...
And a lot of changes have already happened along that line.
Oh, yeah, we've gotten much better already, yeah.
So I think that's the questions. Other than there were a few more mail-ins, and then if there are any questions, Brian will let us know what.
Yeah, we'll do the mail-ins real quick. I think that's.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Number 1, no. Number 2.
Okay, wait. Just.
No, number 3, no, and number 4, yeah, of course. And then Tyler can explain.
Okay, so the mail-ins were: is there a projected date for the CD transport? No. I mean,
I wish.
I can't remember the last time we've had a real projected date. What was the last time we hit a projected date? Perfect, thank you.
Never.
Okay.
Actually, we were early once with Lear, the original one.
Okay, the original one. That was in 2011. Yeah. Okay.
So
it's been a while.
I'll be nice and say, is there a projected date?
Ish.
No, there's not. What I can tell you is, Mike and Dave apparently think they have a fully functioning one.
Yes.
They have actually asked for metal, so we can put together metal and, actually start a beta run. We're going to do a beta run. Beta run will go to a bunch of people. We'll see how it goes. And then we'll see if we really have an actual fully functioning product.
I mean, this is new. This is another one of those new territory places, so I'm excited for the beta run to see how that pans out. I'm really excited about that product.
And Brian actually does remind us, that if you want to see the actual prototype, the live stream on Facebook, with the last one, Jason learns about digital around 4 minutes. Dave kind of holds it up and says, "This is what it's going to be." It looks, it's the size of a Freya. It has a tray. It looks like
it's a real good looking product.
It's a neat looking product.
It looks real good. Is there a reason the Lear never seems to have the black option? To be honest, Jason would sort of,
because we're stupid.
It's not a stupid thing. To be honest, Lear is a product that it's a great one. I actually quite love that product. That was the first Schiit product I actually ever used.
You actually bought that?
I bought a Lear, yeah. And
this dude works for us, and he bought something.
I don't like getting the free stuff. I always buy the stuff.
Anyway,
but to be honest, especially now with the additions of cards, having the sheer amount of options for products is actually a Herculean effort managing.
And to be frank, the metal guys have gotten a lot better at getting the silver right. So we have we have less waste that can be painted black.
It really started as a waste prevention project where we had metal that aluminum that didn't quite make wasn't quite up to snuff, and we started painting it black. It looked great, and that's really where the black products come. Is why in the early days getting black products could be difficult, and you never really knew how many we would have because it really depended on how the metal came in and what it looked like.
And that's why with some products we're introducing black and silver, and
Correct.
some are only silver, some are only black.
Yeah. The black is more on purpose now than it is accidental, to be completely honest.
I wish I could say that we could do silver and black for everything in the future, but what you should expect is some things will be only silver, some things will be only black.
Yeah. Lear was one of those products that there might have been some demand, but the demand was rather low, so keeping a lot of stock of things you might not be able to sell, just in a kind of ugly business standpoint, that gets cumbersome because if you start doing that, you'd probably have to do it for all your products, and then doing it for all your products means...
I'll be super mean and say email orders@schiit.com and ask them why.
Yeah.
Or when it will show up.
Yeah.
They should be able to answer you. The answer might be we don't know, but the answer also might be we're going to get some black in.
And to be honest, like everything, if there's enough people asking us for it, we generally tend to
do it.
Yeah, we typically will do it.
Yeah.
If there's a reason we're not doing something, I would say generally speaking there is a reason for it. If you see us not doing something, but we do listen to people when they have we listen to everyone's comments and concerns and criticisms and revolts. But yeah, that's sort of in a nutshell a really ugly answer to why there's not black options for many of our products.
Let me do number 3 because that's will the CD transport have all the outputs? Toslink, coax, AES, and BNC. I said no early on, and that's correct because Mike is like absolutely not. It will not have a Toslink on it. I will not have my transport ruined by a horrible transmission mechanism. That's Mike's words, not mine. So rage at him, not at me.
We'll give you his email at the end of this.
No Toslink. And no BNC just because it's less popular, but it has coax and AES as well as USB.
Yeah. Any more tube amps being contemplated?
I'm always contemplating.
I was just going to say,
amps.
like you could say that and not be specific.
I have a crazy.
Who doesn't contemplate tube amps at all time?
At home, I have a crazy 10 tube amp, sitting next to me. That is like a space heater, and
it got cold in California for about a week here. Not this past week, and Jason got a little cold at home, so he decided to create a 10 tube headphone amp. Just
you can literally
funsies.
Feel the heat coming off of it, like from a foot and a half away.
Oh, I know.
Is that a product? I don't know. It is not ready.
Music comes out of it.
It's not ready for prime time. It's a little noisy. It has a lot of hum. Needs a little power, bit of power supply work. We have a lot of. I'll just say we have a lot of 6N1P and 6N6P tubes that it would be really nice to make a product that uses a whole lot of those. So that's why I'm playing around with it. I think it sounds fantastic. I think it actually sounds like the best thing we've ever made. But it's not a particularly powerful, amp. It's maybe a half a watt into 8 ohms. Into 32 ohms.
32.
It's going to be like 2 watts into 600 ohms, but that's how many people have.
It's big stupid. It's fun.
It's big stupid.
Yeah, it's a fun product. That's a term that I'll throw around at work when we're thinking of ideas where we want to do something that is very niche. I mean, even niche for our industry, but the niche of the niche. It's a fun it's a fun could be product. So. Yeah. But yeah, we're always thinking of new ways to create new products, whether they tube or not, to be honest. So
I've done probably 3 or 4 prototypes of a next generation Valhalla and just failed because you can't make it that much better. I mean, it's a pure tube amp. It does certain things, and that's about it. And Brian says, "Hey, there's some questions.
Any chance they will see a higher end tube phono preamp? We all love the Mandy, but it's time for us to upgrade from Mandy Bus."
Higher end, almost certainly tube.
Tube,
probably not. I know Mike played around with that for a while. The problem with tube phono preamps is you need super low noise tubes, and you actually need to you need to say it is only like say a 6S3P tube. You're not going to be rolling that. So probably not. I mean, I do have one sitting on a shelf, but it's been sitting on a shelf for 5 years, so I don't think it's going anywhere.
Are you guys looking to make a DAC that is compatible with the PS5?
Oh, you better believe I'd love to do that. Apparently, and we don't know exactly what the compatibility is. We believe it is UAC1. It needs to be UAC1.
Yeah.
If we can do that in a future product, if we can do an auto sensing where it does UAC1 and UAC2, because we don't want to leave the audio files behind with their, 32, 384 or whatever, we will be doing that. Absolutely. Right now, we don't have anything.
Someone's saying they think that the Fulla 2 is UAC1.
It is UAC1. Oh, God, do we need to do another run? No, let's not do that. We'll need a Fulla 4 now, obviously.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah. Stick an optical on it, too, and then you can hook it up to your TV.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
There's not enough room for that.
It would be a very, very full board.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, it's like if anyone out there, watches Forged in Fire, their version of it will cut. My version on the board is it will fit.
It will kill.
It will fit. So yeah,
yes.
And we have a lot of things where it doesn't fit, or actually our manufacturers, our board manufacturers, are not that thrilled about, say, like 200 ball BGA.
There have been multiple products that have had, in development that have never come out simply because, or have been pushed back simply because trying to fit a certain amount of things in a certain form factor is extraordinarily difficult, and that's a constant thing that you're battling in all of our products.
But yeah, we're definitely looking into the UAC1 issue,
yeah,
as well as maybe providing.
Hopefully, have an answer to that in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
This question is a bit more not technical, but someone's asking, what music do you listen to when testing your new or upcoming products?
He listens to terrible music.
Go for it.
No, he'll listen to like the B-52s and stuff like that. He terrible.
How's that terrible?
It's terrible. No, he listens to some pretty good like new wave, like late 80s, early 90s stuff.
I also listen to new stuff. I mean, so
what new stuff do you listen to, Jason?
Yeah, it's gonna be stuff that you're like, oh, it's still terrible, because it'll be stuff like light, or lights, or EDM. I don't listen to a lot of classical and jazz.
No, I was just teasing you. No,
that's for Mike. He'll tell me how bad my stuff sucks.
No, music to me is like whiskey. The best one is the one that it's the one that you like the most. That's what the best whiskey is. So it's the same with music. There's not a type of music I don't listen to. So, I mean, I'll go anywhere. I was listening to hip-hop on the way here. I was listening to Sibelius's, concerto last night. So, I mean...
Wow.
My grandfather was a concert violinist. I grew up with him. He listened to country music and bluegrass. My mother listened to...
Lights
hard rock. My dad listened to blues.
She did an acoustic thing that's actually well recorded.
Who?
Lights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, look it up.
I will.
So,
yeah.
No, I do a lot of Qobuz streaming, so...
I treat my music like food. Like, I don't like to eat the same thing every day. So, I mean, I essentially just kind of, depending on my mood, I order up something different, and that's how I approach this.
So, I don't know. I don't have a huge range. That's why we have him and Mike. So they can listen.
Mike's far more pompous than I am.
Yeah, we were joking today about, like, what if aliens show up and they have, like, no taste, and they like smooth jazz,
and
White
Farm.
Zinfandel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, who knows? Who's to say that my taste is right and yours is wrong, or vice versa?
We can have that philosophical discussion sometime if you like.
Can we do that?
Of
right
course
now?
We can. We'll get some we'll get some Hume out there, and we'll talk about taste, and sure, why not? That'll be a fun podcast.
You
Everyone will love
guys
that.
missed the opportunity to ask him some
Everyone will love
really
that.
crazy stuff. Next time, maybe.
Someone is asking where you got your blazer at.
This is, I think this is Top Man, which is a British company. It's actually a full suit. I have a bottom for it too. I just tend to break it up with a pair of jeans. But yeah, Top Man. So Top Shop is the actual company, but Top Man is the men's.
Tyler is literally the only person in Shit Audio who likes to dress.
I like how this is dressed up. I'm wearing a white V-neck shirt that's like $5, and I put a blazer on top of it, and that's dressed up. What, because I have
us.
shoes with laces in them? Is that?
You see how Eddie dresses,
I don't
right?
remember the last time you wore laces. I don't know if I've ever.
I don't have shoes with
Yeah,
laces.
that's what I mean. Like, I don't think I've ever seen you in shoes with laces.
Someone's asking what type of wine you're drinking.
Oh, what is that, Denise? Denise brought
It
it.
is Justin, and it is called Justification. It's a Cab Franc and a Merlot,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful.
It is actually quite
and
good.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I mean,
California wine.
Denise really likes Justin. I like Justin. One of my favorite wineries in the Central Coast is Rideau Winery. They're an estate winery. They do some really good Syrahs. They do some really good GSM blends or just GSM singles. That's kind of what I'll usually drink. Most of the time I'll be drinking beer. For this, it's wine because, hey, I'll go ahead and plug our competitors. Air has, Pints with Air. They do beer. I'm not going to just go and like steal their stuff.
We're also sitting in the Shitter, which used to be
It used to be a wine shop.
It used to be a wine shop, so there's actually wine cellars in here. So there's always a bit of the vino in the Shitter. So kind of makes sense. It would feel somewhat sacrilegious to drink beer in here a little bit. It feels more like a wine place.
But
Never to you?
no, but I mean, I do like wine. I do like beer.
That's good stuff.
So
I don't discriminate either.
there you go. Cool. And I think that's it for this round. And
Yeah, thanks
maybe
for...
see you next month. As long as we can actually have humans in a facility.
As long as California... Wait, we might have to do it in Tejas.
Zoom or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Or we
just-
could
just do it
eventually
virtual.
do one in virtual
Either
in
one.
Texas. Yeah. Anyway,
Cool.
thank you.
Thanks again.